intending to divide how we educate intermediate students.
I don't think that's the intention at all. The intention is to gather information.
Right, yeah.
And see how this works in towns. We know how it's working in elementary rural schools. It has strong parent support. It has strong teacher support. And, you know, Mrs. Darter has, right now, she has strong teacher support, parent support, and student support to move forward with the pilot program. The purpose here is to gain information,
Right.
to see how it works. And this is consistent with the way this district has behaved for a lot longer than I was in. This district is innovative, it's creative, it does not fear change, it moves forward. We have a diverse population of kids. They don't come with directions. We try new things, we try different things, but the things that we try is research-based. And then we let data dictate what we do. I think a district needs to be careful to let facilities drive what they do. But let good instruction drive what they do. If we were to go to a K-6 model in this district, yes, there would be some retrofitting that needs to be done at those intermediate schools, and we would have plenty of time to determine what those costs were. But you know, 7 years down the way, these buildings are going to need maintenance anyway, and facelifts down the way that we're going to be spending money on. You know, one of the things that would have to happen at these two intermediate schools is that we would have to convert to where we met the guidelines for kindergarten rooms, which has to have an outside entrance. So, yeah, there would be some retrofitting. As you said, Tim, there'd be retrofitting on the bathrooms as well. But, you know, I think we need to, I am recommending that you approve the pilot tonight based upon the fact that fifth grade be there next year, sixth grade be the next, and then we collect data and report back to the board.
I just had one other question regarding this, and I think that because the middle schools are so disparate in terms of size, it was my understanding that it was thought maybe that it would be brought up that we would be looking at a third middle school to try to somehow equalize them. Are you not, is that not going to come up? Because
I think it very
that kind
likely,
of impacts this decision.
it very likely could come up in the future, 6 or 7 years down the way, after you collect data. It may come up that, you know, the impact here is really the fact that we've eliminated a transition for kids, not whether or not it's K-6. And if that's the case, if that's what the data, if we can draw that conclusion, then the district can talk about going K-5, creating a third middle school, which would logically be Charles Stone's, and you'd have to retrofit Charles Stone's to become a middle school. And as far as cost goes, I would speculate there would be more cost to go that way, to retrofit Charles Stone and make it a middle school, because you were going to have to make some significant, you probably have to build a gymnasium, because the gymnasium at Charles Stone's is identical to the one at Vernon sits, and it's not really compatible with becoming a competition gym, and that's what you would be doing if you had a middle school, because we do compete at those levels. We'd also be adding a football field and possibly a track. And we have the room there to do something like that. The cost would be greater to do that, but that's a long ways down the road that, you know, may or may not happen, depending on the information that we glean from this experiment, if you will.
I do think eliminating the transition is a good goal and a good thing to have. I don't see that maybe every elementary school can do this in our district because of space limitations. I just don't want to turn around in a year or two and say that we're going to have a third middle school and we're going to have to readjust all of these things again. I think we need some stability in these decisions so that people can plan and the students transition benefit of having fewer transitions will really be occurring because they will be able to move through the system with that rather than, thinking that they're going to sixth grade in a school and then the next year they go to a different school, so.
I look at this as an opportunity to collect data, and I look at the what-ifs as a great exercise and more discussion, but I don't think any of us can plan what we should consider until we get the data, and that's really what's on the table. And I guess, does everybody feel comfortable with the concept of getting this data?
What kind of data are we expecting to get that's so different from what we have at the rural schools? I mean, is it data for us and how to implement it, or is it student performance?
Performance is what I thought.
I think we're looking at student performance and the demographics that maybe are a little bit different than they are in the two rural schools. And seeing, and they look more, that school looks like, population of that school looks more like the other schools in town.
So how will you judge that between the fifth and sixth grade centers that we have now? What data will you be able to come back and say, see, these kids are more successful than the kids in the fifth and sixth grade center?
We'll have student achievement data. There are several different types of data we could use. Ames Web would be one example. State assessment data, if that ever settles down, we would be able to share with you student achievement data to be able to make comparisons.
I honestly see this taking more than 2 years to get good data, but I think you need at least 2 years to get an indication of, do we continue? I think you'll get pointed in the right direction, at least get some feedback, some thoughts from your educators on, do we feel like we're making positive strides in this direction?
Well, and if you're trying to figure out the lack of transition, you're probably going to have to look at this year's kindergartners because everybody else had to transition from the Garfield building to the Hubert building. So you have a transition there for a lot of those kids too. So, I mean, if you're truly looking at the lack of transition, and then you're going to even have to go even deeper than that because we have such a transient community anyway, you have to take a kindergartner that stays at Abe Hubert there through sixth grade and see how they would be. I mean, so.
Education is a dynamic business. It's always changing.
I got some home-driven data. I think both of my boys would have benefited with one less transition. I know one for sure as far as a more confidence level and familiarity level. And the other one, the second one's coming now, and it's clicking. It gets it. It understands certain things. And he likes those teachers. There's some investment on both parts. And I think that's what's going to help drive that data as well, is that kid feeling comfortable.
I've said this before, but I'll say it one more time. This district has the facilities to go K-5 and added middle school and go 6-8. This district has the facilities based on the current enrollment to go K-6 everywhere. Because we're accommodating them now. When you combine the elementary schools with the intermediate schools, if you use both of those intermediate schools, K-6, we're accommodating them now, we can accommodate them in a K-6 arrangement. What would be the dynamic change would be we would have to change the boundaries, the attendance boundaries of this district, and then fill those kids in to a K-6. So it's possible that a Gertrude Walker, which is a 3-tier school now, K-4, it might be a 2-tier school, K-6. But we have the facilities to do it. Abe Hubert can be a 4-tier school. So it's one of our bigger schools. And the intermediate schools right now both have 500, around 500 in them or so, and they can hold about 600. So with the enrollment staying the same, now if we experience a big growth in enrollment in this community, then we're looking at other things coming into play that any school district that's growing would have in play. Like what you had in play in the 80s, where you could build enough buildings because of your growth.
Any questions or discussion?
Mr. President, I move we accept the pilot program as presented for AP Work Elementary School to add fifth grade in 2014-15 and sixth grade in 2015-16. Second.
Second by Laura. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Under board open discussion, Wednesday morning, we have a board faculty meeting at Jenny Wilson. Me and Tim and Mark and myself were scheduled to attend, and all three of us need to be out of town. Is there any of the other board?
What date is that?
This Wednesday. And it's 7:10, I believe.
I can go. I can go.
Gloria will cover this.
Say Jenny Wilson.
Yes.
When?
Wednesday morning.
Okay, because I got Wednesday afternoon already at virtual.
7:10, that's early. Woo.
I've got it at 7:30.
7:30, okay.
That's better.
I've been beat
That
up.
really is
I can
what my
have another cup of
calendar
coffee by
says.
then.
Tom,
You'll be on
I've
your
been
second
beat
cup
up.
of-
I've been beat up twice last year by June Wilson. I think it's somebody else's turn.
Well, my
I can
plan
take
is-
it for the team.
All
All right.
right. Jean had the opportunity to attend the Kansas Association of School Boards Government Relations seminar.
I did. It was the January 16th and 17th in Topeka, and it was, they restructured that a little bit, so I wanted to let you all know, because it might make it more possible for you to go. Like their leadership classes, this one started later, so it started at 10:30 on I think it was a Thursday, and then it let out earlier on the Friday, so it was really, if you could live close enough, you could really just have one overnight. So it made it more possible for people to go, because in the past it would be 8, starting at 8, and you'd really get dinner before, for sure. So, but anyway, they talked a lot about where we are in education in Kansas with finance and with the lawsuit involving school finance in Kansas, as well as how to gain community engagement and what kinds of advocacy were effective for school board members, and how to work with the legislature. So it was a pretty interesting one. We had, the governor came to our meeting to speak, and also Representative Paul Davis, who will be running against Governor Brownback. So it was very interesting. We got a lot of attention, and had the opportunity to hear their thoughts on education. So, and the Thursday night part is they have a meeting or hors d'oeuvre type situation. They invite all the legislators to come, and you can talk to them. And Russ Jennings and John Dahl were there in our area, so it was a good meeting. I'd encourage you to try to go to that if you're able to in the future.
Any questions for Jean? Any other?
Thank you for going. Yes, thanks.
Rick?
I had the opportunity to attend a legislative activity in Topeka. I guess it was a week ago, Monday night, and Representative Dahl was there, Senator Powell was there. Clearly, Representative Jennings could not be there, as he's convalescing with the health issue that he's dealing with right now, or I'm sure he would have been there. There were probably a total of 9 or 10 legislators there, to include Paul Davis, and it was good to be able to speak to a few more legislators than what you normally get to
again? Through the chamber, the chamber
Yes.
sponsor?
All of the chambers got together and an activity that they sponsored at the Capitol Plaza there in Jamaica.
Anything else? Next Board of Education meeting will take place on Monday, February 17th at 6 o'clock here in the board meeting room. We now need to go into executive session.
Mr. President, I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of discussing matters of non-elected personnel and their contractual obligations. Because if this matter were discussed in open session, it might invade the privacy of those discussed. I'd like to start this meeting at 7:45 for 30 minutes. We convene general open session at 8:15. Is everybody a little bathroom break? Need a second?
Alex said, any discussion? All those in favor?